Okay, so one time when I was probably about 16 or so, I went with like the young men's group from my church to like go to a winter camp. Well, not like sleeping in snow caves or anything. This one was just at somebody's cabin. But when we arrived at the cabin, just everywhere there was a whole bunch of dead flies, like equally distributed through the floor, over the couches and other furniture, kitchen table even, just like everywhere. So we're all just like, well, all right, I guess, some of us will start getting the fire going, getting some heat turned on, and others will start cleaning up these flies. So, we got the vacuums out, we got brooms, people were sweeping up the flies, but as the heat came on and it started to warm up inside the cabin, the flies actually started to like come back alive. They actually weren't dead, they were just like frozen, I guess. And so they're all flying around, making it really hard to catch them. Like we're trying to like vacuum them out of the air and everything. But long story short, there was just flies everywhere. So my friend Jonathan comes up to me at one point and he's like looking kind of worried and he's like, can the flies like make you sick? And I started by just, my knee-jerk reaction was just be like, no, they don't even bite. But as I was like saying that, I kind of got the bright idea of like, oh, maybe I can kind of turn this into a prank. So I was like, no, they don't even bite. But like maybe if you like eat one, then I'm all trying to like make it sound all scary. He's like, oh, they can make you sick if you eat one? I was like, yeah, I think maybe you can get malaria. And I just like tried to make it sound believable. He's like, yeah, I think I've heard of that. And so from that point I kind of like, take it a little bit further. I was like, oh, just don't let them like touch your food. And like, do you sleep with your mouth open? And he's like, maybe, I think I do. So he's getting all scared, and I was just like, oh, like really try to like keep your mouth closed when you're sleeping. And so, he's like all worried and he goes away. We finish cleaning up the flies. We end up having some fun, playing some games. I kind of totally forgot by that point that I had kind of been messing with him. But he ended up going to bed earlier. And so there's just like a bunk room where like all the boys were staying. And at one point I go in there and I have my headlamp because, most people are already asleep. I go in there, I look over at his bed, and he's laying there with a mosquito net on. Like, just totally asleep with the mosquito net on. I guess he was really worried about flies crawling into his mouth while he was asleep, so he wore the mosquito net. And he was right, his mouth was open.